just remember wanting to go out, drive around, kind of have some time to myself.
Hearing the diagnosis was a challenge for Ryan, but for Mom, I'm hearing the words, "You have diabetes," and that's all I'm hearing. The challenges that will come with that, the complications that can arise from that. I'm just worried about his health and his future. I don't want to see him suffer.
I started spending a lot of time on the internet researching the disease. From there I found an IndyCar driver that was competing with the disease. He had an endocrinologist in Southern California, which is about 2 hours away from my house, so I figured that was probably the best place to start.
When I first met with Ryan, I felt it was important to establish a clear line of communication in our relationship. And I believed, just having met him and seeing the kind of person he was, that he was so friggin' determined that he was going to get back on that racetrack. And I knew that I could take someone with that determination, and if they minded me, that I could get him to race. But there were two things. One, he had to be that determined, and second, he really did have to mind me. Because if your blood sugar level goes too high or too low when you're racing, you could not only hurt yourself, but the other people that are racing with you.
And off we went, and she just started telling me about all these things that she was going to do to get me back in a race car, and devices and treatment methods, and everything that I now use to be in a race car, she told me about that day.
Technology is part of what's allowed us to get Ryan back to racing. And the current technology we have for people with type 1 diabetes is that they can stick this little device under their skin, and he usually puts it on his abdomen, and that sends a signal to another little receiver that then tells him continuously what his blood sugar levels are, and it can alert if he goes too high or too low.
I can mount it on my dash and watch it just like any other gauge. When I check my blood sugar, I'm checking my water temperature, my oil pressure, everything that a driver does inside of a race car. We do have what I consider a safety net, a method that I hopefully don't ever have to use. We actually have a guy trained on the pit crew to come over the wall and give me an injection through my fire suit.
If his numbers get out of range, he's got a target sewn on his suit, an injection that's preset, and we can just reach in real quick and give it to him to help get him back where he needs to be and focus inside the car.
Number one priority is safety. The last thing I'd ever want to do is go out there and put any of the drivers at risk. And I feel like I'd be doing the whole diabetes community a disservice by going out there and having a diabetes-related accident. And that's honestly why we have those safety nets in place.